He gave his mom a spare key to his apartment. Now she's letting herself in whenever she wants. This is why it's so important to set boundaries with your partner, especially when living together. Welcome to my channel where we post new videos every day. And today I'm reading from the subreddit. He gave his mom a spare key. Now she's letting herself in whenever she wants. Am I the asshole for kicking her out? My now ex-boyfriend, 32-year-old male, lives in a one-bedroom apartment that he shares with his mom, 62-year-old female. They have a great relationship, and I, 28-year-old female, never had a problem with it until recently. We moved in together 6 months ago, and everything was fine until last month. First, it started small. When we were getting ready to go to bed, I would hear his mom in the other room getting undressed. We have a connecting door between our bedrooms, and sometimes when we were getting ready to sleep, I would hear her talking on the phone and just let it go, because I knew it wouldn't be a long conversation. But one night she started making these weird moaning noises, and it was clear she was having sex with someone. I was pissed. Why didn't he tell me? Why didn't he tell his mom not to bring men over when we lived together? And why would he hide it from me? We talked about it, and he said that it wasn't a big deal. His mom had a life, and he didn't want to control her or tell her what she can and can't do. That's when I realized we weren't on the same page. Then 2 weeks later, I was home alone and heard the front door open. I thought maybe he forgot his keys again, and I went to the living room to see him open the door and let himself in. I asked him why he didn't use the key he keeps under the mat, and he said he lost it. I told him that's not an excuse. His mother has a spare key, and he has given it to her so she can let herself in if she loses hers. And now I'm over it. This morning, I woke up at 7 on a Saturday and needed to pee. So I got up and went to the bathroom. To my surprise, the toilet seat was up and there was a used condom in the bowl. Whoever it was left, they didn't flush. Pissed, I went into his mom's room and asked her what was going on. She said she had company over last night, but of course she didn't know I was awake and hearing all this. I told her I need some respect, and she said I should be more respectful towards her son. She says she has just as much right to be in that apartment as he does because she pays half the bills. I say, so do I pay half the rent and all the utilities are in my name. Plus, I buy all the groceries, and I'm pretty sure my boyfriend doesn't buy anything when he is here. Because I don't see him use the grocery bags I buy, and he eats whatever I cook. She's also always bringing home these stray animals, mostly cats. There are already 3 cats in that apartment. 2 are his, and 1 is mine. She was brought home 4 more that she says she found on the street, and won't allow me to take them to a shelter. I've been trying to talk to my boyfriend about setting boundaries with his mom, like telling her to please ask us before bringing someone over or asking her to stop using the spare key. But every time I try to talk to him about it, he gets defensive and tells me I'm being disrespectful and selfish. He won't even acknowledge that it's a problem. Last night, I had enough. I was home alone again and heard the front door open. I went to check and saw his mom walk in with a man. I was furious and I told her she wasn't allowed to bring men over without asking me first. She said I was being rude and I should treat her better because she's a nice lady. The guy she was with said I should let it go because it's not a big deal. I told them both to get out and they did. But not before his mom said I'd be sorry because no one likes a woman who treats their mother-in-law poorly. I told her she should be sorry for treating me like crap and letting herself in whenever she wants. Then she said, Who gives a flying F what you think? You're just a lowly servant who cooks and cleans for us. And I snapped. I threw her suitcase and the man's bag out the window. They both screamed at me and ran out of the apartment to chase after their things. I shut the door and locked it. They came back inside and tried to talk to me, but I just kept screaming at them to leave. Finally, my boyfriend told her to go stay at her sister's place, and she left. It's been 3 days, and she hasn't come back. Me and my boyfriend haven't talked since the incident. I told him I am not taking anything back, and I'll move out if he doesn't kick his mom out, or at least tell her to stop letting herself in. He said I'm being unfair, and he won't force his mom to move out. He says I should let it go because she just wanted to help her son out. He also says I was wrong to throw his mom's stuff out the window. I am currently staying at a friend's house and will move out soon because I don't want to live in that apartment anymore. I feel like my boyfriend and his mom both betrayed me by not respecting my boundaries and my space, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should let it go because it's not a big deal. Please help. It's good that Op set a boundary. Setting boundaries is super healthy in a relationship. However, I think she could have done it a little bit better. Not really. She shouldn't have thrown the suitcases out the window. That seems a little extreme. I mean, if you're gonna get rid of somebody's stuff, you gotta at least give them a heads up. I understand why she was mad. Her boyfriend and his mom definitely weren't respecting her. But throwing stuff out the window is kind of crossing a line. But ultimately, I think Opus's main issue here is with mom letting herself in and having boyfriends over without asking Op first. I think Op should have talked to her boyfriend first and foremost. Like, yo, listen, I need to talk to you about something that's been bothering me. It has been bugging me that your mom lets herself in, and I've then noticed she has been having guys over. I would appreciate it if you could talk to your mom about that because it's my home too, and I would just like to be respected. I think if Op had gone to her boyfriend first and had that conversation, then they could have had that conversation with his mom together, and it probably would have solved the issue. Op kind of went around mom and went straight to confrontation, and that's when things went downhill. If you want to talk to your partner about an issue, it's best to talk to them first before going to their mom. And this situation highlights a really important point, which is that you should never give your partner access to a spare key to your house. Never give them access to a spare key unless you re-okay with them coming into your home whenever they want. Because once you give them that key, you lose all right to privacy in your own home. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Once you give somebody a spare key, they technically have access to your home at all times. And if they have a key, they could copy that key and make copies of their copies. And then all of a sudden, you have no idea how many keys are floating out there. So never give your partner a spare key to your house. If you want to keep your privacy, if you want to be able to come and go as you please, don't give them a spare key. But what do you think? Is Op the asshole for kicking out her boyfriend's mom? Vote in the poll and comment down below. And if you like this video, be sure to check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day. Thanks for watching.